Learn. Good morning everyone, this is Parveen. Today we are on the 5th session of class 8 history, chapter 2, rise and growth of company power in India. Till now in our 4 sessions we have seen that how company gained its power. Company means how England, East India Company gained its power in India. First of all, they have came to India for the purpose of trade. Then suddenly, to get more economic benefit, they started capturing Indian territories. They started making their colonies in India, and they are 90% successful. They were 90% successful to gain power in India. After gaining power in India, the main problem or the main concentration of company or the main concentration of England was to set up their own administrative system in India. So in this particular session, we are going to learn that how they have set up their administrative system in India. So first topic is civil administration under Britishers. That means under British rule, what civil administrative system we have in India. First of all, we have seen that Lord Clive introduced dual system in Bengal. Like Bengal is the main province or main presidency for East India Company, because for trading purposes or for the political power, Bengal is the main center of the East India Company. That is why everything or every administrative decision which has come for the India, it has been taken from the Bengal only. So Lord Clive on that time was the Governor General of Bengal, and he has started with the dual system. Dual system means Nawabs and British officers, they combine together mutually, they are making administrative decisions in Bengal. But after some time, East India Company feels that the control should be there fully in the hands of the British administration. That is why Warren Hastings, he was another Governor General of Bengal. Warren Hastings abolished dual system in 1772. In 1772, he abolished dual system made by Lord Clive, and he introduced a new system where he divided India into 3 territories. Their presidencies, their Indian presidencies, Warren Hastings divided these presidencies into 3, that is Madras Presidency, Bombay Presidency and Bengal Presidency. And they decided that Governor General of Bengal has a supreme authority in all the provinces. Either it is Madras or either it is Bombay, Governor General of Bengal is having a supreme head or supreme authority in the administrative system, and each presidency has one Governor General, but the supreme head is the head of the Governor General of the Bengal. Then for each district, each presidency, they divide each presidency into small districts, and each districts have a collector, and this collector is having a duty to maintain law, peace and order in their own district, and they also have a duty to collect revenue and taxes from the people, and they are doing all these things with the help of the judges over there in that district and the police in the district. Police and judges help the collectors to collect revenue and taxes and to maintain law and order in their own district, and they need to report to their own presidency. Like if the district is in Madras, they need to report to the Governor General of Madras. If the district is in the Bengal, then they need to report to the Governor General of Bengal. Or as such, we have seen that Governor General of Bengal is having a head or supreme authority in all over the India or in all over the presidencies which we have. After that, you can see over here, after this administrative system made by Warren Hastings, one more act was passed. That was the Regulating Act of 1773. The act was passed in 1773, and this act was passed by British Parliament itself. This act was passed by British Parliament in England itself to control the administrative system in India. Now, what are the features of this act? According to this act, Governor of Bengal is a Governor of India. That means Governor of Bengal is having a supreme authority in all the presidencies in all over the India, because as he becomes the Governor General of Bengal, he becomes the Governor General of India. Then after that, 4 council members are there. They make one council which has 4 members, and they try to assist the Governor General of India to maintain an administrative system. Thirdly, decisions. Whatever decisions they are going to make, Governor General and council members. 4 council members and Governor General, whatever decisions they wanted to make or whatever administrative decision they wanted to make, they need to make it cooperatively or mutually, and the decision can be taken by majority votes. They will vote themselves, they will vote one person, one vote, and after the vote, the majority vote. given to the particular decision, then only the decision will be taken. That means the decision will be taken on the majority vote. And they after this particular act, it has been passed that there was a Supreme Court at Calcutta, and in this Supreme Court they have Chief Justice and 3 other judges. With Chief Justice there are 3 other judges in the Supreme Court, and they have also passed an act that there was no bribe or gifts, any kind of bribe or any kind of gift directly or indirectly will not taken by the officials. Will not taken by the English officers, then it will be a punishable offence. So these things, these 6 features are there. According to this act, these 6 features are there in the Indian administrative system. But this act also has certain demerits. What are the demerits of this act? As this act says that Governor of Bengal becomes the Governor of India. That means Governor of Bengal is having a supreme power, but Governor General has no control over council. Council members has their own decisions to make. So there is no control of Governor General on council, so that we can say that they can make their own decisions without consent of the Governor General. Supreme Court follow, when we are talking about the Supreme Court follow English law, English civil law, and other 3 judges, they follow the existing law in India. So there is a clash between those 3 judges in Supreme Court and Chief Justice of India. Then Governor General has no complete authority, because a council of ministers or council members are having their own authority. So Governor General has no complete authority in the administrative system. So these are the 3 demerits of the Regulating Act of 1773. So now to come out with these demerits, one more act was passed in 1784, which is called as the Petty Indian Act. Now under this act, council members reduced from 4 to 3, so that there will be no majority of council members. So council members reduced from 4 to 3, 4 members to 3 members. The presidency of Bombay and Madras becomes subordinate to the presidency of Bengal and its council, so that Governor General of India or Governor General of Bengal must have a complete authority over administrative system. And in London they have made one board of control, so that all the affairs, either it is military, civil or revenue affairs in India, it should be taken care of control from the London Board of Control. And the head of the London Board of Control is Queen itself. So over here we can say that to maintain the administrative system in India, there are many acts which has been passed under the British rule, so that they will maintain the better administrative system. I hope you have understand this particular topic. Now in next session, we will see different charters or different acts which has been passed under British rule to control the administrative system in India. Till then, thank you.